Everybody, it's John DiPietro. I am backstage at Oakdale Theater in Wallingford, Connecticut. I'm with two of the big guys in the Kenny Rogers band. Right next to me is Randy Dorman and Steve Glassmeyer. And when you talk about longevity in the music career, you guys kind of are the definition of it. Steve, you're over on that corner. Tell us how long you've been doing the Kenny thing. And
well, I started in March of 1976. So if you did the math, that's over 40 years. After 40 years, I quit counting.
At 40, quit counting.
Yeah.
Randy, how about you?
Well, I started September '77.
Hours go by, forgive me behind. I'm walking my baby.
So 40 years exactly.
You're kind of the new guy.
Yeah, I'm the new guy.
Yeah, because Gene Sisk was here with, what, 22 years, and Brian was 16, and Mike was 5.5.
Randy's still auditioning.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get the gig.
Not much job security in this business. But Steve, tell us what you play and the other things that you do as part of the whole tour and the whole Kenny Rogers career thing.
Well, I'm primarily a keyboard player and background singer, and I play just enough guitar and mandolin to get me in trouble.
No, to get a double.
To get a double.
Get a double.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also during the Christmas season, I'm responsible for recruiting and coaching up the choirs that we have.
Okay. You're co-responsible because I do one of those recruiting.
That's true.
Right.
You definitely help.
So I'm
up
looking
there.
for my name in the credits. I haven't seen it as
New
yet.
England.
We'll put it.
Nor have I seen a check. But,
John DiPietro, New England Choir.
Well, this is your video. Put your own name
That's
in
right.
the
That's true.
credits.
This is my video. I'm Kenny Rogers. I'd like to introduce John DiPietro and John DiPietro too. So, Randy,
Yes, sir.
as we look at the stage, you're over on the right, and you don't have, unlike the other guys that were here before, and Steve, that are like
Right.
sitting behind fascia, you have to stand.
Yeah.
And there's nobody between you and Kenny in the audience.
Saying it over a cardboard scene, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
So, Steve, craziest venue you've ever played?
Probably, we played a place in Mexico one time, just maybe 30 miles across the border, that is normally used for cockfighting. And so it was this bowl, and the actual center of the thing is where we set up where the chickens do their thing. And so everybody was real steep around us in a circle, and it was
And it was a
very
dirt
unusual.
floor.
Yeah, dirt floor,
Yeah.
that's right.
And with mucho cerveza in the vicinity, right?
Yeah, that's the word.
Randy, how about you?
Same gig. I mean, I was there with him.
It's funny because Chuck said the same thing.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Well,
he did.
the
And
other
he said
one
they
we
covered
did-
the floor with plywood.
Was
so
it
that
Romania that they let the people in? No, it wasn't Romania. Where was the one that they threw the tennis shoe at you?
Oh, that was Korea.
Korea.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's got to be a story behind that.
Well, the story was they had sold the tickets where the people close to the front paid a whole lot more than the people in the back. And so the people that were going to sit in the front paid, let's say, $200 a ticket, and the people sitting in the back maybe paid $10 a ticket.
Yeah.
But at the last minute, they decided just open the doors, let everybody sit where they want.
Oh.
And so the people that paid a whole lot of money to sit in the front were mad for obvious reasons. And so a guy threw a shoe up on the stage, bruised my leg a little bit. And
He kept the shoe.
yeah,
Kept
we
the
kept the
shoe.
shoe out there for a long time.
Because you know that whole thing, if the shoe fits.
That's right.
Well, we tried to
Where?
bronze it, but it wouldn't bronze.
Okay. So, Randy,
Yeah.
you've got other duties, at least for the last few years. You've got additional duties prior to the show, during the show, on the bus ride to the next city. Tell us what your other hobbies and career opportunities are.
2009, they came to me and asked if I would take over the meet and greets because the cell phones were driving Kenny crazy. People were handing the cell, who'd take my picture?
Yep,
And then
yep,
the screen
yep.
would go blank,
Yep.
and they'd have to leave Kenny to turn
Yep.
back, all that.
Double the length of the time to get it done.
So it was driving him crazy. So Gene came to me and asked if I'd start, handling the VIP or the meet and greets. Well, in the last couple of years, they've started selling VIP packages.
Yeah.
which is-
Yeah. Yeah.
Way to go, Brian.
Yeah, that was Brian. Brian Franklin couldn't get enough of the camera. He had to come back in here again.
So the VIP packages is a specialty thing where we actually bring them on stage, do special things, tell them stories and backline stuff, and they get to see more things than just the normal venue type meet and greet.
Yeah, and people love those. They love coming back and seeing
they do. They
the
love
glamour of life backstage.
Well, that and you know, Kelly, you know, talks about movie stuff
Yep.
and backstories in the movies and all that kind of stuff. It's really good for them. It's really neat. And then they get a more personalized meeting with Kenny.
Yeah. So this is a marvelous facility, Oakdale here. It's
Very
still
nice.
immaculate. It's 20 years old.
Very nice.
But there have been some facilities and backstage where they're not exactly Hollywood.
Oh yeah. These old theaters where we walk in and they say, "Where's our dressing room?" I say, "It's up on the 5th floor and there's no elevator."
Just like last week. Just like last week.
We won't be naming names on
No,
this.
no, but it's true. I mean, people think it's just glamour.
And
But-
no air, no heat, you know.
Right, no heat, no air
Going up the
conditioning.
stairs and freezing weather.
Right.
I mean, there were times when Kenny was doing those summer outdoor shows in tents, where like at Cape Cod and
Oh, gosh, yeah.
what's the other one up the street there in
Beverly, Mass.
Beverly was not a tent, but what's the other one? The green Cohasset. Cohasset, where
Uranus.
yeah, but it was 90 degrees outside, but then under the tent, you're going down into that tent. You're
Right.
coming out of there soaked,
Yeah.
almost to the point of electrocuting yourself.
Well, one of our old guitar players left the stage one time because he got so hot he went out and had a beer.
You went out and had a beer.
To cool off.
Okay.
He was going to pass out otherwise.
So, Steve, you have other activities. Isn't the right word? Responsibilities as well. You like with the toy shop. Didn't you have some writing
Yes. Yeah.
responsibility with
Warren
that?
Hartman, who used to be in the band, and Kenny and I wrote the songs for our little toy shop play that we did on the road for, I don't know, 6 years.
Yeah, including New York. Like, in fact, I even have the
Careful,
toy.
careful now.
Whoa, he's going to flash
Right.
it.
Careful.
Can you see toy shop yet?
Oh,
Oh,
look at
I
that.
we
can
go.
see shop.
Yeah, I know. With me, it's 3-dimensional
What's
now.
that you got on the front there?
Oh, this one here. That was
Seen that one.
Dave
Oh.
Twist.
Oh, that's
Dave
from the
Twist from
choir.
Burncoat.
How
Yeah,
come
they
I
gave
didn't
us a
get one
shirt.
of those?
Well, you're not as high up on the totem, corporate
That's
totem
why we
pole as
didn't
me.
hire him this year.
Right, exactly. I'll tell him that. But tell us what that was about. I mean, tell us what that whole thing about writing an actual play that went on Broadway,
Yep.
or in New York City at least, or up in the Beacon Theater.
Yes. Well, I think Kenny and Kelly had this storyline they wanted to do, and we just started sort of writing songs one at a time, and I guess we kind of did this backwards from what normally the way it's done, because we didn't know what we were doing.
But nobody knew you didn't know what you were doing.
No.
No.
And so
one
we'd
cared.
write a song that, and then sometimes the script would come out of what the song said, as opposed to being the other way around, which is kind of the formula I think they use for writing musicals, where they totally write all the script, and then they decide what the songs are going to be and where they're going to go in the play, and we didn't know what we were doing, so
Did it the other way.
yeah, we kind of did it the other way.
The other way. Randy, life after Kenny. You've got some pretty cool things.
I've got a production studio at my house and a photographic studio. So I'm going to be doing, I've been doing productions for singer-songwriters or younger talent.
Yep.
And trying to just, we can record demos or full-blown albums and the whole bit. And then Ann has a lot of classes and stuff that the kids need headshots and stuff. So I do photography.
We're going to be
work,
talking
and
with
then
her
I
in a
do,
little bit.
yeah. So I do, and then touring all around the world. I've had the great fortune of shooting some of the coolest cities in the world, and a lot of architecture and stuff like that. I love that stuff.
Including the Connecticut coast where I brought you
Absolutely,
down to Connecticut, right?
Mystic. It was some
Pretty
some
cool
of my
stuff.
favorite picks.
Okay, I'm going to ask both of you this question. Did you ever in the world think you'd get 40 years ride out of one gig? Has that ever happened before, or will it ever happen
It
again?
has happened before.
Oh yeah,
I guess.
I can name you a few people: Willie Nelson, Neil Diamond. There's a
Right.
few that
Few.
keep the same band for whatever reason for all this time. But it's very rare, and no, I had not in my wildest dreams what I'd have thought. 4 years.
Yeah.
I thought,
Yep.
well, I'm 40.
Yeah, every year we think, well, if we could just get one more year out of this.
Right.
You know. And
One more year closer to getting
Yeah.
the Social Security
Yeah,
check.
yeah. Well, I mean, we weren't even thinking in those terms.
Right,
We were just
right.
trying to get one more
One more year without having to get a real job.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever had another job outside of the music biz, even from like 20 years old up?
My dad, only when I was in high school, my dad had a little fast food restaurant on an army base, and I used to flip hamburgers.
Flip burgers.
Yeah. That's
Did
all.
you burn them?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I was in construction for one day.
One day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't hold the wheelbarrow full of cement, and it kept tipping over, so I was costing the company more money than it was worth.
Folks, he said cement. He meant cement.
Yeah,
But he said cement.
Just like pecan.
Yeah.
It's the pecan.
It's like hotel. At the hotel instead of the hotel.
Yeah,
But
okay.
that's the big difference.
All right.
But you've traveled all around the world. It's kind of really surreal when you look back.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'd live in Australia if it wasn't so damn far away.
Yeah, and you couldn't drive to it.
No.
No, but whatever. So we want to thank Randy and Steve because a couple of people are knocking on the door saying get on your stage clothing and get out there and do one more show. Steve, what did you figure out? 5,000 shows?
Oh yeah, I did a little study, and kind of unscientific, because there was a couple of years I had to kind of average out, and there was some times where we do 2 shows, and I didn't really have that notated, but I kept pretty good records, and the figure I came up with was somewhere between 5,800 and 5,900 shows.
Almost 6,000 shows.
Almost 6,000.
So that'd be
And how many
pretty
times
much-
we played Lucille?
Yep, exactly. So we want to thank these guys. We know they got stuff to do. This will be available on YouTube. It'll be available a whole bunch of other places. Give me that website if people want to find out about your photography.
RandyDormanPhotography.com.
And Steve,
I don't have a
you're not into
website.
the website thing, but we'll let him
So spell
pitch.
my name right when you give me the credits.
Okay, Randy, RANDY, not DOOR, but 10, Dorman.com. So, from Oakdale Theater in Wallingford, Connecticut, it's John DiPietro saying, let's go out in a blaze of glory.
Why not?
All good things must end. Okay.